guys are listening to Ernie Mancuso and Aaron Stockton right now of the Howlin Donkies. We're going to get started in just a minute. So enjoy the vibe. I know, right? Yep. Sounds nice. So welcome, you guys. What's up, everybody out there in the 209 and out there in the world? We got Ernie Mancuso and Aaron Stockton from Stockton, California. Mm-hmm. And so they're in the house and they're just jamming out. They're going to play a song a little bit later. It's an acoustic version, but it's still all in alignment with what they do. So we're going to get into this because we have not had Ernie Mancuso here, actually even in the area for some time.
Yeah,
so you're just coming back.
Yep.
And so
I've been back 1 year.
Yeah.
Because my kid will be a year in the end of this month.
1 year.
27th. I hope I got that right, man. They'll kill me if I don't. 29th, do you remember?
My birthday is the 29th.
So it was like 1 day away, remember?
2
so
days.
28th, I think. Am I too close?
No, I just, for some reason, I'm not hearing your mic, but do you hear your mic?
I hear it a little bit.
I hear it. Okay, so as long as they can hear you guys, that's really all that matters. So I just want to make sure.
Can you hear us out there? Thank you for having us, though. First and foremost, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you guys so much for coming in. I know you guys are already starting to get into the scene and doing some things. Like you've been back a year, but this is what you do. This is what you've been known to do for so long here in the area. Yeah. And for a lot of people who don't know you guys, can you kind of just give them a little bit of background of who you are as it pertains to the music scene and what genre it is that you guys push in?
Yeah, I mean, back then when we first started, it was the Shambulls. So that was our first group, and it was basically we were heavily influenced by New York and West Coast hardcore. So, we were totally into that, and it kind of morphed into a more metal-ish type of sound over the years. It was very punk, hardcore when we started out, and then it kind of metalcore towards the middle and end period of it. But we started in a place called The Shack off of Carlton Avenue on the west side of Stockton here.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then it morphed from me getting kicked out of a band because I didn't have enough money for equipment at the time, and Aaron said, if I get a bass guitar and a bass rig and an amp, will you sing for me? And I said, heck yeah, I ain't even halfway done.
Were you singing at that time?
I don't know if you call it singing. It was caterwauling, it was nuts. It was learning experience is what it was. I mean, I was singing.
I seen that he had something but I knew him from high school before he started singing, so.
Oh, okay.
He's always been an artist.
Yeah.
So high school, what high school was that?
Linden
High School. So
country boys.
Agriculture, country boys. Yeah.
Yeah, because when we first come into town and started doing all that stuff, we were kind of like the odd man out, or like we weren't city slickers.
Right.
So
it
was kind of awkward at first, but we established dominance pretty quick.
It's so different from being the city folks from the country folks, because you understand in the country the world is your playground. Mm-hmm. You just have so much space and area to play in. So coming into the city, it's everything's for us to play in, so you don't think anything less of it. And so it's kind of, I think, easier to come in and the movement that you're making, you're you know where you need to go, you know what you needed to do, you know what you wanted, and that vision that you had kind of coming in. Was it starting with music for you, when you first kind of came around the city and wanted to get into the music scene? Was it?
Yeah, and streetwear and skateboarding and that whole combination of that time, early 90s and
we were skateboarders, and a lot of people that are skateboarders probably know that they are also musicians, or they try to be musicians. And a lot of
they rock out.
Actually, one of our friends who is a skateboarder is the one who turned me on first to playing bass guitar, and he was in his band before, and so but then they had a falling out, and I was like, hey, that stuff was pretty easy. I think we could do it. Let's just try to do it, and then we started doing it.
Because you were already doing music. Did you like do music in like grade school and stuff like that?
I did music in high school. I played piano.
I mean, I listened to it. That was.
I didn't pick up a guitar until I was older.
All right.
Until you were wow. So you started a bass.
Yeah, I started at bass.
And did you play in grade school or anything like that, or?
I played saxophone for like a summer, and that hella sucked. I mean, I love saxophone. I love hearing it, but it sucks. It was hard for me to learn. I never learned it. It was just it hurt your lips. It hurt like everything. And our parents were like, if we're getting you a saxophone, you're playing it.
Right.
And they'd make us relentlessly practice, but it never stuck. And then I don't know. Then I heard Motley Crue. Shout at the Devil, and then I heard Cro-Mags, and once I heard Cro-Mags, they were tattooed from neck to foot.
Oh, man.
They were Hare Krishnas. It was nuts.
Oh,
Hardcore
interesting.
Was different in like the late 80s and 90s. You could be like what you wanted to be, and that's what kind of gravitated us towards it, being from out in the country and stuff. We're like, we could be hardcore because you could be whatever. You could be a vegan back then, a vegetarian.
Right. So true.
You know what I mean? You could, and everybody got along though. Like you could be a Christian hardcore band, and you believe in Satan. You know what I mean? But they all got along. It was a different time, and everybody sounded different too. Not cookie.
And they appreciated each other for each other's sound because they brought to the table what they brought to the table. Yes.
Yep. And getting together and feeling that you weren't like isolated or you weren't an oddball.
I got chills because that is exactly what I enjoyed about the event that you just recently had for Summer Solstice, the Summer Solstice Jam. So over at the Channel Brewing and the Cast Iron, that was absolutely the energy and the feeling that I got was that, wow, we haven't had this in so long. And the showmanship between everybody there who performed was at another level than from what I've seen so far that's been out there. And I want to like let people understand like, the difference between seeing the performers that we have had in the back in the day and that you guys are like coming back around and doing what you do so well, of course, even these shows just so well, versus like those who are like kind of coming out and it's like, hey, let's just throw a show so we can get some stage time kind of thing. Totally different. Totally different. It was absolutely amazing. The energy was great. There was people from all walks of life there, people that I haven't seen in a really, really long time. You just really brought people back together.
It was a 90s reunion.
It really felt like that.
And it was a beautiful night and a good vibe and nothing but smiles and nothing but love.
Great energy, music.
Yeah, there was like no violence, nothing weird. Well, I mean, when we first started, there was hella violence.
That night?
Yeah, we're not little kids.
We're not little kids no more. When we were younger, there was like, at our very first show that we played, there was a big old fist fight and a riot.
Yes.
Now, I don't see that happening now.
Wasn't that like remember Guides or something? Because Guides, you guys used to play there a lot, and there would be so many fights.
Pepperonis, or did it change to pepperoni?
It changed to pepperoni.
Right,
well, it was
Guides. Yeah,
yes.
That dude would give us hella free beer. He loved us just to sell hella beer. Yeah, whenever we played. I remember the drummer at the time, he that was playing with us. He had two pistols, and they fell when we were playing in the heat of the battle. Like they fell down and the kick drum, and I said, "Man, you're gonna shoot somebody's feet." Or I was thinking it, you know what I mean? And so that was the first show.
Yeah.
I remember I had a striped polo shirt.
And for anybody who doesn't know where that is, so if you guys go down where UOP is, if you kind of go over the bridge where you're going towards like Rosemary Lane, there is now a Canapa's spot there. Canapa's or Kelly's Car Wash, Canapa's Car Wash, and then a gas station, and then right next to that is like, I can't remember, but like a Kentucky Fried Chicken, maybe. Well, anyways, that area
is right there.
Is where the Guides used to be. They raised it. They built over it. It's something totally new now. You guys never would know that place existed. It was like a dirt parking lot. Everybody parked there. They'd roll up. They'd have these shows at night where people just rock out. Pizza, beer, lots of fights. Oh,
it was nuts because back then, like if you came from out of town, like if you were from Manteca or Sacramento or something, you were fighting. You know what I mean? And if we went there, that we were fighting. It was, I don't know. It was.
You had the mosh pits going.
Yeah.
So talk about that. That's something that was back in the day. A lot of people did enjoy.
Yeah.
The mosh.
It was kind of like when it was happening to us. It was pure and honest because they were feeling the emotion and the music, but there was influence from MTV too, and Nirvana, of course, when people first started seeing mosh, and it's way older than that, you know. In the 80s it was older than that, so when it hit, like when we were playing our bigger shows, like Weber Point shows, and you know, there's 2,000 people there. Those pits were insane. And then even in Modesto, when we played at the Modesto A's Field, or like any of the Modesto Man shows, the radio shows.
Weber Point.
Weber Point. Like those.
Whenever there's a lot of people and a lot of kids and drinking and stuff, they're gonna watch.
Good music, but it was honest music. It wasn't all that influence that I said earlier. And then it was like even the small shows where we had 200-300 people in there, they would go berserk.
Super packed, and yeah.
So
I remember having to like really step back and out of the way.
Yeah.
I remember like, oh man, it's just growing and growing.
Yeah.
Like to a point it's okay, but then like when it really starts to get like
it got
really big,
dangerous.
I had to walk
And it got
away.
to a point where we would have to tell people like calm down all the time, even while we're performing in between
Especially if you're playing
Yes.
at a little place and people
Yeah.
are going crazy and they start stepping on your guitar pedals and get
Yeah.
tangled up in your
or break
equipment
tables and start.
You guys did really good with crowd control.
We tried.
Yeah, I know people got excited, but they loved you so much, that they really, they were like, yeah, because it's just kind of one of those things. They want to stay, they want to play, they want to have fun, they want to engage, and you guys really were able to watch all of that at the same time, as well as give a good show.
Yeah.
So you guys have rocked so long, like in the areas and like the different. I mean, all kind of Northern California,
20
Central
years.
Valley area, right? Yeah. So I don't think a lot of people understand the caliber of company you keep and which levels you play at. Yeah. So maybe you can kind of give them an idea of like some of the other musicians you might have collaborated or played with or shared a stage with.
Well, I said 20 years because it's been 20 years since we put out our first self-titled EP, just the Shambles. It was like a TV screen with a Shamble bull in it. If you got it, that's a collector's item. Right. And that's one of a kind because there was only a handful of those that went out. But Michael Klooster from Smash Mouth, the keyboard player from Smash Mouth, is our lifetime friend. I mean, he cut his teeth on producing with us. He bought his first, Tascam or whatever it was.
Oh, wow,
It
Tascam.
was actually a sampler that he was
sampler.
recording us on.
Yeah.
He recorded samples of each of us and used them as tracks.
Nice.
And put them together.
Yeah. And he did a lot of writing in that, too. He wrote like keyboard parts and sound effects.
He edited a lot of our songs, cut out parts, made them shorter or made them longer, whatever he had to do.
So Mike has been an integral part of everything I ever done music-wise. I always like bump my ideas off of him. We talk at least once a week, or he tries to hide from me and then I hand him down, and then we end up talking. But he's been an intricate part of what the Shambles were, and I don't know with the Howlin Donkies what we'll do other than vibe off of each other and get that good vibe going. And it's just cool to like the other night at that show, I finally felt like, wow, I feel like kind of equal with these dudes now. I used to always look up to them, you know what I mean? Because Mike's the longest self-employed musician I've ever known.
Yeah.
Like 18 years, I think, or 17 years with Smash Mouth, and that's like past journeyman, ain't it?
right, past journeyman, 10 years, 10 years in.
So he's the pinnacle of, what we've been involved with, and he's just a good mentor, a good dude, and a good friend. And then
he was out there playing.
Everybody from
He's
Brian.
real smart.
Yeah.
He's a real smart guy.
Brian Rosas, Bonnie Hemmingson, Brad Souza, Roy Pfeiffer, Corey Fuentes. These are old Shambles now that we're going.
That's all. I was just about to ask you, so I'm glad you're saying it because my next question was, for all those that don't know, Shambles, you guys have had many players, and so, but the Howlin Donkies, this is new.
Yeah.
It's totally new.
Well, when I got back,
we started the Shambles. I played bass, and then we found a guitar player and
BR Brian Rosa.
I need to say a little something about him that he hasn't said, but when you were asking about what kind of schooling or whatever he had, when he was a little kid on Friday nights, he used to make a little show for his parents to get up and do a little act and make a little show. So he's always done what he's doing now.
Or scheming.
Producing little shows.
I call it getting people to pay attention to you in any way you can.
Yes, there was a lot of that early on. Now I want them to pay attention more to the music.
To the music.
We're putting out, but I can't help as far as being a front man. I can't help. I just feel natural. I feel
and you're great at it.
Thanks.
Great, and you're a great showman.
I feel at ease up there. So it's once I get a mic in my hand, it's I don't know.
It's natural.
showtime.
Yeah, it's very
You know what I
natural.
mean? Lights are on. Let's go.
And you hit a really good point as to what music is really all about, other than just having fun and rocking out. It's kind of one of those things where you can put messages in the music, to really help people along in life, if not yourself, then others. And it's just kind of one of those pieces that if it's a great piece, it's pivotal for them. Where if, like, say in 20 years they have a stroke, that song will bring them back to that moment. Yeah. It's like those things matter. And so making really good music, and being able to put something in there where people do hold on to is one of the biggest reasons why I do the radio
There's
shows.
a lot of pain.
Because I want to keep it in rotation.
There's a lot of pain and struggle in it too, and people could see that when it comes out in your music, and they can relate to that. And no matter what it is, everybody has pain and struggle in their life. Like blues music, when you listen to blues music, it's like
it's the blues.
You feel a certain way, and sometimes when we have pain and stuff, we try to make music that makes you feel good or makes you feel like strong.
Yes. Yes, like I can get through that kind of thing.
In the last couple of years, I had a lot of pain and strife moving back, and health issues with my old lady, and having a baby, and just being poor, and trying to get back on your feet. I'm still not working yet, but it all goes into the music, and you can feel it. And when it's an honest expression, like he said, and like you said, people get it.
They relate to it.
They relate
Positivity
to it.
and spirituality gets thrown around a lot nowadays.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes it like a
watered down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, to have a positive message out of that negativity and a spirituality in there is important. I think it is, and he does too. So when that comes across live, you can't help but feel it. Like that little practice video we put on Facebook, got a lot of views in a short amount of time, and it's because it's heartfelt. And that's what we were kind of jamming on when you started the show. But that song's called "So Soft," but it means a lot of things. And like I told you earlier when we were talking outside of this, that we don't like explaining like the lyrics, or like my painting, like when somebody looks at one of my paintings and it's like, what does that mean? And
what does it mean to you?
Yeah, really.
I like hearing their version better, you know what I mean, because it's usually more entertaining. But as an artist, I don't feel you need to explain all that. The Howlin Donkies, though, I can explain that because that's just funny. The name came from, I was working in a field when I first got back, labor work in a cherry orchard, and there's this and a walnut orchard too, 20 acres by myself, and there's a donkey across the road though every day, and he's always hee-haw,
all the time,
like all the time. And I thought this donkey's laughing at me working out here in the sun, breaking my back.
Right.
And it come from that. And then I moved out in Lockford. There's these dogs would howl at like 10 o'clock every morning. I don't know.
Interesting.
Well, I was up. I'm an early cat. I get up like at 6, so drinking my coffee or my energy drink, going, what are these dogs howling about at the same time? So then I told him, I go, Howlin Donkies. And that's how that there's
all in the fields.
There's a story behind Shambulls too, because we didn't have a name and we were already jamming with Brian. I don't know if Marcus was in yet, was he?
I don't think so. And
we were the shack. We called it the shack. My dad had given me and my brothers a house to live in when we got out of, we were supposed to be going to college or whatever else we were doing, but we were just going crazy. It was early 90s.
It was in a bad spot.
The roof was kind of decayed, and we were drinking out there, and Brian looks up and he goes, in Shambles, and I go, no, he Shambles. And then it morphed from there because there was a band down south, and we'd already been going under that moniker for a while, so we were like, we ain't change it, we'll just change the spelling. And that other band, I never heard about them again, but then I was raising pit bulls at the time, so that's where that whole concept came.
The bulls.
Dog with the horns. So there's a story behind those, but that's all you get. You don't get none of the art, what that means.
Yeah, that artwork.
Feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta feel it.
And then you guys were just playing out there. You guys would have shows out
at the
shack.
No,
the ranch.
The first time I ever
played
played with Running on 3 was in the backyard skate party. I think like Ray Klinkenbeard was there.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out Ray.
Oh, R.I.P. to God, darn it.
Eric Serpa.
Eric Serpa. I knew that's
White
who you
Trash.
were thinking of.
Yep, he
Yes.
lived with me right then when
Oh,
I first started.
man.
I see his ghost every time I look at those YouTube videos
Yeah.
when he's in the pit at the Weber shows. It's
Oh,
a trip like
man.
he's alive again, you know what I
Yes,
mean? And
he
breathing
was such a
is-
great energy.
oh,
that was
the
so
first-
sad.
oh, hell yeah.
Very tragic loss, you guys. For
Yeah, it
anybody who
was.
doesn't know, Eric
Yeah.
Serpa,
Yeah.
White Trash, yeah.
That was the Genesis. Yeah.
Good
See,
guys.
we all, yeah.
And that's through gun violence. That was,
Yeah.
you know, when you guys don't need to use them, just
Yeah,
put them
that was
away.
scary, boy.
Put them away.
And
I
he
mean,
lived with me at that time when it happened. Or no, I think it. Yeah, I had moved by that point. But
It's funny because Eric Serpa used to work with him at Red Lobster.
oh
and,
yeah.
And the guy that started the first band that worked with him at Red Lobster, that was a drummer, Kyle Kelly.
Kyle Kelly.
They all
yeah.
worked at Red Lobster. And
Nice.
That's how
Yeah.
that's how he got started playing music in a band.
and so from there, you ended up just kind of really loving it.
Yeah.
I see, and then pushing it.
Well,
So when how quickly was it, like, so say for example you lost a member, somebody didn't want to play, or you guys weren't getting along, and then how quickly were you to replace it, you know, so that you could keep the
machine
music
going.
yeah
Keep the fix going.
yeah
Once people are paying attention to
Yeah,
you,
there's
it's a
people-
lot easier to get people in your band than
They're
when
biting.
they're not paying
Yeah.
attention to you.
Nice.
You know what I mean? If people are paying attention to you, yeah, I'll be in your band.
They're biting at the bit.
How many
literally.
shows do you think you guys did overall?
Wow. Because we went all up and
A
down
good 500 at
California
least.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because at one point when we were going between Modesto, here, and like Sac, and even Manteca, or you know, like what was the other place where Corey was from? Oakdale.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd be playing 3 to 4 shows a week, you know. So it was like we weren't even practicing. We were playing shows like all week, like we were on tour. Just go after work or whatever, you know. So yeah, quite a bit of shows. I don't know, it could be in the thousands. I don't know.
In the 90s, we got real popular in Modesto and was playing all the rock radio shows and doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I talked on the radio back then and asked, because I figured the radio's powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I bet you
Radio's
somebody will
powerful.
somebody bring me a bottle of wild turkey right now. And I was sitting there with the singer from Nonpoint, if anybody remembers Nonpoint in the late 90s. And he's like, what? And I said, and it sure is all hell, here comes a bottle of whiskey. Like 10 minutes later, some fan had brought me the whiskey.
Somebody heard on
So
the
we went
radio.
over and snuck and had a shot and did the rest of our interview.
You're like, oh, he wants some whiskey. Give him some whiskey.
Bring me some
Get
beer.
the man some
Bring me
whiskey.
some beer now,
That's
somebody.
the power of radio.
Yeah.
Where was that show at?
Modesto. and
Where
that
the
was-
Modesto A's play.
But that was a radio like show, right? That I was on promoting. We were both promoting the Modesto A's show. Yep.
And where was like the furthest you've gone out?
Hemet.
One time we went to Hemet, Los Angeles, and played for
That was nuts.
metal, you know,
Militia.
the metal militia,
They
the
were
dirt
jumping
bike
over our
riders were
heads.
jumping over our heads and stuff.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Oh, I was
really?
on the shoulders of a Vago. There was like biker gang was
Yeah.
running it. Oh, there
Yeah.
was some crazy.
It was a
drugs
big
and
old
partying
giant
at that
motorcycle park.
show. That was nuts.
Yeah,
Oh, my
Hemet,
goodness.
California.
Somebody even got killed.
that night, that
Yeah.
day, they got ran over or hit.
Something in a wreck like that night. We literally
Buddy from
had
Arron.
yeah, we literally had to push with a push broom. Our guitarist was pushing 40-ounce bottles out of the way of
my
our.
God.
Yeah, we had a touring van that we slept in and everything, and he had to make a path. There was so much
40 ounce.
alcohol.
Oh my god!
Oh, it was nuts.
I can see that.
A dude's chiclets. I mean, he got punched in the face in the pit in front of me, and his chiclets were in the sunset. You could see him glimmering.
Oh.
It was the biggest free for all I ever seen in my life.
Oh my
It was
God.
pretty nuts. That was our Altamont.
It was
The
pretty
Altamont
bad.
is pretty-
was.
It was
It
pretty
was scary, and it was but fun at the same time. And we met Deacon, the dude from Metal Militia.
Yeah.
We met a lot of rad people down there, so it wasn't it wasn't a loss. It was just nuts.
Yeah. It was a pretty big scene. I think I don't know, maybe I just paid attention to it more back then, I guess, hearing the different music and like seeing you guys out here, and so maybe that kind of rubbed off on like the type of music I was listening to, seeing different
Everybody
things.
seemed
But
to fire each other up. Back
Yeah,
then.
and, but
nobody sounded the same. Like everybody sounded different and individual in it, but it made it like a good
a good show.
And it made a good competition like vibe, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they did that, let's do this.
Because you guys would throw shows out here with skate demos and stuff when like Ray had the skate shop.
Well, that's where we started too. That whole Shambles thing was Slacker
we did
City.
all the benefit shows to build the skate park.
Built the skate park so that everybody, you guys don't know, but you know, right here.
And after he passed away, and then
the Anderson Skate Park we have over here.
And that was Slacker City, though.
Yeah, Slacker City with Ray Klinkenberg went ahead and was like making the push, but to get the benefit together and to get everything
Reed
together.
Was part of that
Randy,
too.
yeah.
And then Walt, I forget Walt's last name.
Walt Green.
And then there was that was a crazy scene at one point too. Slacker City was nuts. We played down in that basement and up top a couple times.
Yeah.
It was always hot in that thing.
Yeah.
I remember that's back before Beer Belly. I was shirtless at some of those shows. I remember that. There was and then downtown was some significant shows too, as far as Weber Point and the Civic Center. We won the Battle of the Bands, that big old Battle of the Bands at the Civic Auditorium. What did I say?
The Civic Auditorium, Civic Center. Oh, well, it's kind of like the same thing, I think. Civic Center, Civic Auditorium.
Because they got that big arena down there now, but it was the old one. Like if you go way up in the roof, there's like signatures of all the old school dudes like Chuck Berry and like
really
there's
that's cool.
The Godfather of Funk, James Brown.
James Brown
signatures up there too.
Over here at the Civic Auditorium.
Yeah, like way up in top.
Wow.
We were like in the green rooms. Everybody writes their name on the wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
We played like some awesome shows there. Doja Click, shout out to them.
Shout out Doja Click. Go figure that you would be mentioning Doja Click.
Yeah, no, I know, man. He's a good dude. And
they wanted
he's
one of
still
our
rapping.
guitar
He's doing
players
this
to
thing.
play guitar.
He's an awesome dude.
Yeah, he just dropped another album with Brother Lynch.
The Heat Monster.
Yes, the Heat Monster.
They played with them there. I'm at a loss for words. Finally, but they, no,
the Deftones. Deftones came.
Well,
around
we didn't play with Deftones. That would have been rad.
Yeah,
I partied. That was a genesis too of me getting into a band. Before I picked up a mic, I partied with Mike. Phil's brother, Mike. What's her last name?
Death.
Martinez. Mike Martinez. Mike Death. That's what he was called. But he goes, "You want to go party with the Deftones?" And I barely listened to him that week.
Oh. So you just heard
that whole time was like
this was before they made it real.
Yeah, okay, so it's like when they're coming out.
Well, I sat in a minivan in Berkeley with Jonathan Davis from Korn, with Monkey from Korn, and with Chino from Deftones and Stefan from Deftones and Mike. We're in this minivan listening to a tape cassette of Around the Fur.
Nice.
They were showing Jonathan Davis, "Hey, this is our new
album."
New
song. Oh, okay.
And I was like, and I had like I had awesome Adidas stuff on and gear at that time. I was like all into it. And I remember just thinking, these dudes are the same as me.
Yep.
There ain't like no difference other than, da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah.
That was just blowing up. Like that place went berserk that night when Korn went on. It like went, you could tell they were going to go to the top, and they did. But that whole influence of meeting and partying with them the 3 different times, like Korn once and then Deftones like a couple times. And then we knew Ming was our manager, Ming Ching, rest in peace. Chi Ching. And then he was a hella nice dude too. And then Ming was our manager. So all that influence early on there was picking up a mic too. And then he picked up that bass, and the rest was.
And then you guys were like, "Let's do this."
Yeah, and earlier we were talking about where we toured. We didn't tour all over the world or all over even the states, just on this state. I think one time did we play in Nevada?
West Coast.
Just the West Coast, but even that, the impact though in the mid '90s there that we made was regional, and people were new and who we were and what we were about, and we're having fun and. We were getting noticed, and we were chasing the golden carrot back then. If we would have made it,
your crowds are like a good
they were getting
thousands,
big.
you know.
But that being said, it was very intense.
Yeah,
it was a very intense time, and this is pre-internet and pre-YouTube and we were making a mark. Drugs, alcohol, and life, and kids, and everything else, and then you gotta want all the way to go on that tour life, and I don't think we wanted it all the way.
So you just kind of stayed local,
stayed local, and then
just enough to kind of keep the fix,
to have the fun.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, and to socialize.
Things kind of spiral out, and then at the time it spiraled out, I moved to San Francisco, and that's when I started getting serious about art and painting. surfing.
that has really been a big push on your part. I know there was one piece that you did. I had to buy it.
I got one for you in the car.
I had to buy it.
Oh,
no way! I'm blessed.
I
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man, your artwork really grabs me, and
Thank you.
I'm just like, that's great. And like,
don't ask me what it means.
Pieces that that I see in other people's homes, I'm like, I'm so glad you have Ernie's piece in there. It's like frame. It's good. Good work. I mean, and it's just so much. So I want to definitely give you guys time to play a song that you guys have been working on. This is acoustic. You guys will find them a little bit stronger energy, but we're gonna go ahead and give a little bit of acoustic.
All right.
Piece right here.
This one's called I Don't Know.
All right. Let me make sure I'm in tune just real
All
quick.
right.
Keep on talking about something.
So the new album is going to be called Human High, Sun Sober. And I guess I could kind of... Howlin Donkies. I guess I could kind of tell you a little bit what that means. There's been a lot of sobriety in our lives in the last few years. You know, we're getting older and you can't party like you... I can't take the hangovers no more.
Right.
I still drink, but not to in excess anymore.
When he moved to San Francisco were some dark times for me, that's all.
Yeah, we don't need to get too into it. But the whole Human High and the sun, and it's summertime, spring when we started this new project, and we're out in a park. So it just all makes sense. I don't know, that's the spiritual part.
I'm ready to roll.
All right, this one's called I Don't Know.
All right, let me get...
Information overload. I don't know. The Matrix seeks total control. I don't know. Just one piece of mind. The pain and hate is all I find. Greedy lies rule the times. Put the tape in and push rewind. I don't know is the final truth, but I don't know is up to you. All I really know is we don't know it all. That's not enough for me. No, not enough for me. It's not enough for me. No, not enough for me. Yeah. Just one piece of mind, but pain and hate is all I find. Greedy lies rule the times. Put the tape in and push rewind. I don't know is the final truth, but I don't know is up to you. All I really know is we don't know it all. That's not enough for me. No, not enough for me. It's not enough for me. No, not enough for me. Not enough for me. Not enough for me. Oh, not enough for, not enough for. It's not enough for me. Yeah.
That was so nice. I like that.
I was a little off at the end, but whatever.
No, it's okay.
It's been a while since yesterday.
I get so nervous these days.
When did you guys write that?
That's the
one.
first song that we wrote doing this new stuff.
Yeah.
Nice. And so how long did that take you guys?
Like 5 minutes.
It took us 5 minutes
I love
to write
it. I know that's right.
Our music
I
is
know
always-
that's right.
always-
Every one of them, all the good ones that we're keeping for the album, even the new one.
So easy, right?
Jimmy's Gift is they're all like 5 minutes, but it is really longer because
G means gift.
Jimmy's Gift. I'm not gonna tell you what it means.
I'm so curious.
Well, we don't got that one down, or else we'd play it. It's a really good one. But
We just wrote that like 2 days ago.
they all take over the summertime. Like every time we practice, they're modified. And then Aaron's real stickler about doing his homework, you know, and he gets it down or gets the part more solid or makes the riff more dynamic.
When we make up a song, we make it super simple, like just and
not
then
even
start
words like
adding chords and other parts. It changes every
You know what
time
I
we
mean?
get together.
Yeah.
And the lyrics and the content starts to develop, and the way I'm gonna pitch it out or sing it, it develops over the time.
The time of practice and like just feeling
practice
it.
makes
yeah,
perfect.
and it really does.
We're not like Iverson. You know what I mean? Practice? What are you talking about? Practice?
With the technology they got these days, like when we first started out, there were like 4-track tape recorders. They haven't even thought of CDs yet. So now with the technology the way it is, you don't even have to go to a recording studio. You just have to have a computer and an interface and a microphone to make everything you need.
Pretty much.
Well, you probably know you're doing hip hop and rap, right?
I do hip hop and rap.
It don't take much.
No.
You just got to have the money to buy the technology to do it.
Right, exactly. Because then you have your program and you just lay your tracks down and like how you guys would layer, but with music and different instrumentals. But you made a good point where you do have to leave it open to where you say it's super simple, which is important because then you do have to let it develop. Because when you do start to go over it and then you start to get engaged with like,
and then after it
the
develops
melodies
and you go record it, you could add all the layers and stuff.
The plan is there's no plan.
The plan is loose plan and random all the time.
And just go with the flow.
But it seems to work for us, and now we're getting into the. Well, we don't have all the songs we want yet for the Human High, Sun Sober.
So that's the new album coming up, Human High.
We got 4.
Sun
we
Sober.
got 5
Ooh.
right now, and we're trying to write at least like about 12 before we start.
Yeah, you know what I mean? To have a well-rounded album. This time, though, since we're 90s kids, and we're the CD era, we want a damn vinyl record. So
I was just talking to somebody about that, as a matter of fact.
It's huge. I mean, it's huge again. And so are tapes.
At
Tape
the time
cassettes
when we were
back.
making our best music and we had the best players in our band for the Shambulls, we recorded and we never did anything with it because it was like we got it all put on CDs and everything, and we never produced it or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's like we got more done when we were just making tapes and giving them to people and giving CDs that we made to people. We never got our good stuff actually ever put out there the way we need to. But now with the technology the way it is, you could just go straight and give it to people for free by sending
put it on wax.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally a way of like digital technology of being able to just help work things out and get it produced and put out there so you have a finished product. But then the wax is different, and
that's what
I got a good record player.
Yes.
I want a record that I could go, look, I made a record like in the old days.
We never got to do that.
I mean?
So I'm going to say shout out to Tease because Tease and I were talking about this, and a friend of ours, Steve and Tease, we're talking about
I know that cat.
bring in vinyl back in
It's
our area
huge.
because we're
The
not
DJs.
nobody in our area is
Bring vinyl
doing
back, everyone.
Well, it's back. We don't gotta
bring it.
ask. I mean,
Yeah.
Whatchamacallit got rid of CDs yesterday.
Who did?
Best Buy.
Oh,
There's no more CDs. I mean,
nice.
they're phasing them out of Target.
And it's a
everywhere.
trip because you go to like Rasputin Records and you look and CDs are like $1.50 each, and you can get
50
one that
cents.
used to
It's
cost.
kind of like the old floppy drives.
But they went.
They're just becoming obsolete
They
and a
went
mess.
down in price because they used to be like, what was it, like $15 to buy a CD when you bought a CD, and then now you can go buy just about anything from jazz to blues to rock. To
all
classical,
new too.
all brand new practically,
Like $10.
and it's only like a couple bucks for.
Oh wait,
It's a couple bucks each.
The wax ain't cheap no more.
No.
It's like $30 for like a deluxe version. But 180 grain, man, you throw that across the room, you chop somebody's head. You know what I mean? It's
and the music is still embedded.
the music's still
Just
embedded.
rinse it off.
And like he said, with the technology, it's easy enough to get it put on wax. And
Once you get it digital, you can put it on wax easy, but just getting it to that digital point, you could do any format. You can make a CD.
And there's companies making the
for
wax
free.
now too online, and there's a bunch of companies selling tape cassettes too.
Okay,
they never went
I'm just
away.
going to put this out here because I don't know if I'm ever going to do it or a friend of mine is ever going to do it, but I have a friend and I have like a great idea to, Stockton, the city of Stockton, we used to produce vinyl here. We used to be,
wow.
we used
I
to be
didn't know
one of
that.
like the main hubs, and it was like a Hispanic, a Mexican company, Disco Azteca, I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember Disco
Yeah,
Azteca?
I
They used to
remember.
press.
Did it used to be
Yeah,
downtown?
downtown.
Yeah.
They used to press vinyl there,
didn't know that. I
and
wonder
so
if the
we
machines
were
are still there.
one exactly. So why not Stockton bring back vinyl pressing
That would be
and
nuts.
everybody? And so everybody, I kind of had this whole idea for like a production for an event.
That'd be great.
Where it would
Would
be
be
like
awesome.
everybody would like need to press a vinyl in order to have a show there. You'd have to like give us your vinyl because you got your vinyl pressed,
That's the only way you-
and it's kind of like a token, like a key.
Jack White has
Yeah.
that Third Man Records in Detroit, and that you can go in there, record in the studio, and they'll put it live right.
Yeah,
onto
exactly,
the
and that
wax.
would be the start of the show. Like that's my
That'd be
production where I think like
nuts.
to have like a album release party,
Yeah.
and so they get their album literally their vinyl press. So that's what plays while everybody's mixing and mingling. And then if they choose to want to perform one or two, then they can get up and perform one or two.
Yeah.
But the vinyl is what's playing,
That would be. You need.
and then you have your like your light show or whatever
Yeah,
is going
yeah.
on in the background, and
Well,
people your
hopefully
little
there's some
bar.
entrepreneurs or some
Yeah.
rich people listening.
I hope
Because
so.
a lot of those machines moved to like Canada and moved to Mexico, and
Yeah.
like they sold them.
Yes.
But then I watched a little documentary. It's on YouTube of Jack White making that Third Man Records, and he bought a bunch of machines, refurbished them, or I think they made brand new ones. So
Hmm.
the technology's out there to make new ones. They're making everybody's freaking records.
I'm
From
telling
Sleep-
you.
Sleep from Oakland.
If we could
to-
bring it back here to Stockton, that'd be a revenue maker.
Oh, sure would.
That would be a great
there's a bunch of
business,
talent
a
here that
great
would
business
use
for
it,
the
too.
music. Yes.
There
So
is talent.
anybody listening, I mean,
Yeah,
if I'm not
pick that
jumping
up.
on it anytime soon,
Well, maybe me
and you guys
Aaron
get
will
there
have to
before
figure out
I
how
do.
to get that done.
Yeah,
That
it's
would
really
be
it's
rad.
really about getting the press,
machines,
yeah,
yep.
and then knowing how to make the two-sided because then you
And get
have
the
to
wax
yeah.
and all what it takes to make
We'll have to
that.
have a conversation
Yeah,
afterwards.
That's deep one.
Yeah, we'll have to have a conversation because like that would just be a great
that
thing
would be
to have.
incredible. If we
Yeah,
had
to bring
something
that
like
staple
that.
back to
Yeah.
Stockton, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think we had a great time. I want
I
to
had
make
awesome
sure that you
time.
guys get all of your information out to where they can follow you.
Yeah.
They can get in touch with you. So I'm going to actually try to type as fast as you speak. Oh, Dijon says, salute my guys over for my two and boys. He was like, what's up?
Oh, hey,
Dijon
yeah, we're
says
supposed
what's
to
up.
do Play-Doh Vision too, so tell me
Yes,
as soon as we can.
they're coming to do Play-Doh Vision soon.
Yeah, stoked.
Hey, what's
Yeah, that's
up,
a good
Dijon?
dude.
Yes.
That's our park buddy.
I'm telling you,
I think
we're...
that's the first time Aaron
The
ever
first
met
time
him.
we ever went out to play at a park, he was there with his kids and everything.
Skate Park Skankin' he did with Sambo. They have a song
Well,
called
we didn't
Skate Park
play or nothing.
Skankin'.
We were just bullshitting
Yeah.
with him. I drank a couple tall cans and we bullshitted with him. But I had him
excuse me.
over to the house, and I knew him for years. So, yeah, Dijon. Sam Raw.
Sam Raw.
Yeah,
Mhm. So-
I always liked his music. I don't remember if I think he was playing in the Bay and living in the Bay when the Shambles were doing our thing when we first got real serious. When we got Brad Souza in the band, and that's when Klooster was producing us and we were making the mixtapes. But he would hear about us through what was that reggae dude? Do you remember that tall reggae guy? It was his cousin. Remember?
the reggae guy out here?
Yeah, and he used to hang out with us. He would always tell Sam Raw about us in the Bay, and so the Bay started knowing about us through that and through hip hop. It was weird because we always had a close association with hip hop.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
maybe the way we dressed or whatever, and our friends and skateboarding had.
But
a-
yeah, because I think it was kind of the two cultures that were in the skateboarding
street,
scene.
yeah. It
Because
was
you had the
everything was
graffiti,
street and
yeah, because
hip-hop.
graffiti was going on at
Yeah.
the same time,
Yeah.
and then so you had the people who were like the lyricists, and they were
Yeah.
like beatboxing and
Yep.
stuff. So you it was kind of a mix with all of us, like.
Yeah, it
Everything
was.
going on there. They had the
Super rad time.
turntables. Everybody were like
Yeah.
spinning and stuff. So
Well, the bomb place, remember? On
yeah, Smart Bomb. Oh, no,
Bomb
not Smart
Threat.
Bomb, but
Bomb
the
Threat.
bomb threat. There you go.
Maison, shout out to Maison.
Yes.
Yeah.
Out on Main
They,
Street, right?
Yep. And then it was a wonderful time, the 90s. It was. We're getting all nostalgic now. But
Brent
go on,
Burkbile says what's up. Brent says what's
Oh,
up.
what's up? I know that dude. He was at those
Yeah.
pepperoni shows.
Yeah,
What was
Brent.
it? Guides? Guides. It was
Guides.
Guides. Yeah, he remembers.
So do you want to give him Facebook, IG?
Facebook would just be Ernest Mancuso. We don't have like a site or anything for the Howlin Donkies right now.
Okay.
It's I don't know if we will. We'll probably just keep it my page. I got a Shamble one, but I never use it for
Right.
nothing.
And it's
like,
Howlin Donkies now that you guys are
yeah,
working
so
with.
it's like,
So
yeah,
yeah.
I'll just keep it like Ernest Mancuso. They can find me on Instagram, the same thing, Ernest Mancuso. Follow my artwork or follow the Howlin Donkeys information. Will always be on my Facebook page. And then we got 2 videos technically on
YouTube.
If you go to my channel, Ernest Mancuso, on YouTube, then you can find the live version of Nirvana that we did the cover of All Apologies. And through that one, if you look, you'll see there's So Soft is on there also. Because when I downloaded So Soft, I accidentally downloaded it under private, so I got to delete it and re-download it.
Can't you just you change the settings?
I changed the settings, but for some reason it don't pop up. I don't know. We can talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
But they can see it in my playlist though. If they friend me on YouTube, it's So Soft's in there.
And that's what you did on your performance that night, because I really enjoyed engaging in that when you were like on the table. You're on the table like this, and you're standing up, and you have the mic out, and you're just like,
well, I want people to feel it.
And is all we are. And so you were like, everybody just sing that. And so we were just all singing it, and then you just got like, I was like, dang, I missed this.
That was a subliminal message to everybody that we quit and we're sorry, and hey, we're back all the time.
Hey, and that's what it is.
And to everybody in life in this apology.
That's what it is.
Apology society now.
Like, it's all in us, all we all are. We're here. We're here.
We're here, and I knew that would be a good one for crowd participation.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to sing with everybody because I was doing it in So Soft, and they were starting to get it in the crowd. So I was, I got them with us.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Great.
That's the fun time.
It was.
Yeah.
And for you, Arron, do you want to put up any kind of contact, an email?
My email is Arron Stockton, all lowercase, all together. Number 2 right after it, all together. And at gmail.com.
And you're on Messenger too, aren't you? Or no?
That'll probably get to the Messenger.
So
all right.
AARONSTS.
No, it's ARRON.
ARR.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's good, because I'm going to go back and correct all my spellings everywhere.
Yeah, it's ARR. It's spelled different than normal.
ARRON Stockton. Okay.
And we're going to produce more videos. And once we get some vinyl, once we get tracks that are like recorded, then we can do some actual videos.
We're pre-producing stuff, so we're getting to that stage where I'm going to get a computer and a program. We're going to make our own studio, actually.
Yeah.
Why go to a studio when you could just buy everything and have it 24 hours a day?
Exactly right. I had that like twice over, and through the mishaps of life, I lost that twice over. And I'm like so tired of rebuilding a studio, but I have to do it again because
pretty simple now.
At night it's just like I need to get this done.
Yeah. When the inspiration hits, it's good.
And I don't want to have to go find somebody to be like, can we get into the studio?
You pay $300 for a couple hours.
No way.
4-track tape cassette.
I have digital, and
we can even make tapes off of it too.
Yeah, and that's actually really good. Going back to the magnet strips, because that's one way that it doesn't actually get lost. The digital can erase.
I cut.
You did earlier. I've already. I'm glad you cut yourself. Okay, well that's our time. Unless you guys want to get anything else out. Do you want to mention anybody? Give any other shout outs?
We're going to make an album, and we're going to keep on doing this.
There should be at least some recordings that we could release digitally, hopefully by, I don't know, fall?
Yeah, in the fall.
In the fall, because that'll give us enough time. Because, really, in actuality, like I told the guy out there, told you earlier, it's in its infancy. So,
yes, you did say that.
We just played it live because Kluster had that opportunity. He's our bro, and we weren't going to turn that down. And, show everybody we're back and we're at it. So
I'm so excited. So I'm going to let you guys kind of jam us out the outro. I'm going to let you jam on the outro. And then we'll just kind of fade ourselves out.
Go So Soft again.
All right, I'll do it again.
Go So Soft? Okay.
All right.
Yep. I see your It's not a nightmare. So soft, keep it so soft. The ride is spinning and I don't wanna get off. So I see your scene and it's really keen. I look away, I keep it clean. Just as dirty, just not so mean. Don't scream. It's not a nightmare, it's just a bad dream. My kids and a-holes are just turn 14. I'm an adult now, what the F does that mean? It's not a nightmare. So soft, keep it so soft. The ride is spinning and I don't wanna get off. So soft, so soft, so soft, so soft. You're so rough, you're so tough. You're a lie, you're a bluff. Yeah, you're so rough, yeah, you're so tough. You're a lie, yeah, you're a bluff. You're a lie, you're a bluff. You're a lie, yeah, you're a bluff. I run away, I look away. What more can I say? So soft, keep it so soft, keep it so soft, keep it so
Howlin Donkies, Ernie Mancuso and Arron Stockton
Shambles
here
for life, and if we forgot your name today, sorry.
Yeah.
No, all apologies.
All apologies. Here at KXVS, the voice of Stockton with your girl RawNe on RawNe Hour. You guys have a wonderful Sunday and a great start to your July.
Right on.
All right,
Thank you
y'all.
so much for having us.
Thank you so much
Appreciate
for being
it.
here.